If you're trying to build a business, a successful business, there is one book that could save you years of mistakes, bad decisions, wasted money, and unnecessary actual stress. Yet most entrepreneurs never really study it. Instead, they are constantly chasing the latest trend, the latest viral video, the latest strategy, or the latest guru in the business. The crazy part is this book itself, what I'm about to actually show you, has been written over 3,000 years ago. So think about that for a second, 3,000 years ago. So in today's video, I'm going to show you why Proverbs may be the greatest business book ever written and how its principles can help you make better decisions, become a stronger leader, manage money more wisely, build discipline, and create lasting success. And what I want you to do is stay till the end of this video, because one of the verses that I will show you completely change how I think about business, growth, success, and it might do exactly the same for you. I want to start with something really important, acknowledgement. So the farther I actually have gone in the business, I have failed in many businesses as well. I have started many businesses. I have worked for many businesses. I have built many businesses. And the farther I go in the businesses, the more I actually have realized that success isn't usually determined by who has the best strategy. Because the modern concept of the society who is building business in the modern generation is more about how we can get results short term. More about the viral video that will explode your business. It's more about the funnel that will unlock huge growth. It's more about like, what should the ads look like, and then the ad will go explosive and we will get a lot of leads, we will get a lot of sales, and we will make a lot of money. It's more about the short term than the actual long term. So when we talk about strategy itself, when we talk about funnels, these things are not that determine your success. It's determined more about who actually follows the right principles. And that's why this topic really matters. Because at the fundamental level, every founder wants exactly the same. Because otherwise we wouldn't have started a business. We want more revenue, we want more freedom, we want better decisions, stronger leadership, less stress, more success, bigger team, and a lot bigger business. But very few founders, people, operators realize this, that many of the principles required to actually build a successful business were written down thousands of years ago. So I want you to just imagine that in thousands of years ago, somebody started their first business. They conducted their first business. Then somebody followed their footsteps. Then somebody else followed their footsteps. And then they accumulated already a movement by creating businesses. That movement then later got broken down into principles. What does a successful business really look like? What type of decision making? What type of planning? What type of discipline? What type of leadership? Right? What relationships? What is an honest business? What is a dishonest business? So many principles, right? But this is the problem now. Instead of focusing on principles in the modern society, we are more focusing on all the other shiny objects. What's fascinating is that Proverbs doesn't just talk about actual faith, because a lot of us, when we hear Proverbs or Bible, we kind of associate it with the priest, church, God, and faith. But it actually talks more. It talks about work, money, leadership, discipline, planning, communication, relationships, decision making. In other words, the exact things founders deal with every single day. So in today's video, we are going to break down some of the most powerful business lessons hidden inside the Proverbs. And I show you actually how to use these Proverbs to apply them inside of your business immediately. Because if you understand these principles, you will become a better leader, make better decisions, avoid costly mistakes, and build a business that actually lasts. So let's start with the first one. Excellence creates opportunity. So this is from Proverbs 22, verse 29. Do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings. Most people want opportunities. Few people actually pursue mastery. It's more about the character than just an actual opportunity, because first is not the opportunity, is the character. You need to become a certain character in order for you to attract a certain opportunity. Let me give you a good example. Let's say we go surfing and you have 5 people, 5 surfers waiting for the big wave. So we're waiting, 1 hour passes, 2 hours passes. One surfer says, you know what, I don't think it's going to be happening today. So he leaves. The second surfer looks at the first one leaving. He's like, you know what, like maybe he's right. He's like, maybe the wave is not coming. Well, I'm just going to stick around for 10 minutes, and if it's not coming, I'm going. If I'm not seeing anything changing, I'm going. So he goes. The third one is like, hey, they are leaving, so I'm going to go. So he follows. The fourth one is kind of, you know what, like it's maybe going to come. So he's waiting for the wave, it doesn't come, right? He says to the fifth one, you know what, I'm going to go grab a cold beer. So the fifth one is the last one standing. He's waiting for the perfect wave. He's looking around, nothing is happening. An hour goes by, 2 hours go by. Suddenly, a huge wave comes. He surfs that big wave. Next day, everybody's talking about how he was surfing that wave. He is the legendary now. He gets to talk about the actual experience that nobody talked about it. But why did he got to talk about that experience? Because he had something more than just the surfboard and willingness to ride a wave. He had the character itself. The character that attracted the actual wave. Because if he have gone with everybody else and would be like, you know what, it's not coming, and we just leave, he would never see that wave coming. Because he waited long enough, he got opportunity. And he utilized the opportunity because of his actual character. And this is why character matters more than just the actual opportunity, okay? And also, I want you to notice that the verse says, do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before the kings, right? The verse doesn't say he will stand before kings because he's lucky, because he's connected, because he's gifted, because he's famous. It says skillful. The marketplace rewards competence. A mediocre marketer gets ignored. A mediocre salesperson struggles. A mediocre business owner remains average. But when someone becomes exceptional at their actual craft, doors begin opening. And this is the beauty about having that character. People start talking, you start getting referrals, opportunities appear, podcasts want to get you on so you can speak about your experience, expand. The world starts noticing the actual excellence. So now you probably are seeing, if you look in the world, you see somebody like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, you see Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. So these are excellent leaders. And excellent leaders get noticed. So, business lesson that I want you to learn here is this. Your income usually follows your value. Stop chasing the shortcuts, the golden, shiny object from the distance. You need to become so good that the marketplace literally can ignore you. Next one, diligence beats motivation. So this is Proverbs 21 verse 5. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. One of the biggest lies in entrepreneurship is that obsession with motivation. People want motivation, but God emphasizes the diligence. Motivation is the actual emotion itself. Diligence is an actual decision. Motivation comes and goes. Sometimes it's like in a gym. One day you feel like, hey, listen, I'm going to be going to the gym. You go to the gym, and another day you don't feel motivated and you don't show up. So motivation shows up and disappears. Diligence keeps working. And the founder who wins isn't necessarily the smartest. It usually is the person who consistently executes long after everyone else has already quit. Because business often is boring. The daily repetition, the same follow-ups, the same system, the same refinement, the same testing, the same improvement. Abundance doesn't come from intensity, it comes from consistency. So it's the days that when you don't want to do anything and when you still keep going. It's the days when you feel like, hey, it's not the day, like everything is going against me, but you still keep going. That's diligence. Motivation is, hey, I feel motivated to do a video. And so when you look after 365 days, let's say we have 2 people. We have one diligent and one person is basing everything on the motivation. The diligent person, if you look at the actual graph of the diligent person, he would probably have a huge consistency over the motivated person. okay? Because he would keep going even when he doesn't want to keep going. So maybe, like if he says days worked, he would have worked around 345 days, okay? Where the motivated person would probably have worked half of that. And the reason for it is because he's more looking for if he feels motivated. Hey, I don't feel like it today, so I'm not doing it. Where the diligent person is like, I don't feel like it, but I have to keep doing. I have to keep going, okay? So it's more about diligence than actual motivation, because it's all about consistency and keep going even when you don't want to keep going. So the business lesson is consistency compounds because it has that compounding interest. Most people dramatically overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 month and underestimate what they can accomplish in 3 years. Next one, don't make big decisions alone. Proverbs 20 verse 18, plans are established by counsel. So one expensive mistake founders make is believing they must figure out everything themselves. So this was me when I started my first business, second business. I thought I can figure out everything myself. I don't need anybody. I can do it myself. And I kept saying to myself, I know I can figure it out. I will get this. People actually offered me help, and I was like, no, you know what? I know. You don't need to tell me. I know. And so your pride is always saying, I know. But wisdom asks, who already has actually solved this? And these are not the intelligent, the smartest people. These are people that just understand the principle. Let me find somebody that already has done what I'm currently trying to do, right? So number one, every successful founder has blind spots. Every successful leader needs perspective. This is why great businesses have mentors, advisors, coaches, consultants, and leadership teams. Not because they are weak, but because they are wise. One conversation can save years of mistakes. If you get in a right conversation and somebody tells you exactly where they have made mistakes in the past, doing currently what you're trying to do, you can then avoid those mistakes. So the business lesson that I want you to learn here is you have to seek counsel before major decisions, not after the damage is already done. Next one, God hates dishonest business. This is Proverbs 20, verse 10. Unequal weights and unequal measures are both like an abomination to the Lord. This verse was originally about dishonest merchants, but the principle still applies today, like fake testimonials, false guarantees, inflated claims, manipulated results, hidden fees, misleading marketing. The modern business world often celebrates deception if it increases revenue. God doesn't. You can make money dishonestly, but eventually dishonesty collects actual interest. Trust is one of the most valuable assets a business can actually possess. And trust is built through truth. And so I just want to reference something here. I built a business that was promising things that we couldn't really deliver, and then everything just went into chaos and things were not working. And it was just because we were promising something that we couldn't really deliver. And we always thought, you know what, we are not far away from delivering. There's a client coming in. We're just going to tell him that we can actually deliver, when we knew we couldn't. And that's the biggest problem, is that it's not more about the clients coming. It's more about your reputation. It's more about who you are as an actual operator. So the business lesson I want you to learn here is short-term deception creates a long-term destruction. You have to build a reputation that actually compounds like a compound interest. Next one. Foundations before expansion. So this is Proverbs 24, verse 27. Prepare your work outside, get everything ready for yourself in the field, and after that, build your house. This might be one of the greatest scaling principles in scriptures. Most founders want expansion before preparation. They want more clients, more employees, more ads, and more complexity. But they haven't built the foundations. There's no systems, no processes, no standards, no leadership, no structure, no financial control. So growth magnifies the actual problem. The growth magnifies the weak systems in the actual business. Scaling a broken system only creates bigger problems. And I want to reference something here, is like I see a lot of business owners that come and they're trying to scale, they're trying to run ads when their fulfillment can't actually handle the clients they already have. So they're trying to get more leads and run ads. I have seen people try to get more leads when their conversion is broken. So
getting more leads is not going to fix the fact that you can't actually sell. So you need to be good at actually selling. You need to be good at converting. So a lot of us want to scale before actually having the foundation, before having all the systems right, before we having processes, when we are hiring, the training, the SOPs, making sure that we actually can take somebody and fit them in our business, rather than just hiring somebody and then they're running around like a headless chicken, not knowing what to actually do. And every time they come to you, you're getting frustrated because they don't know how to actually do their job. But the problem wasn't the job, or the problem wasn't them. The problem was you, that you never had the right processes. And so this is really important, that you have the right systems, the right processes before you actually scale. So, business lesson: revenue before luxury, systems before scale, profit before expansion, and foundation before actually growth. This is the next one. Self-control is competitive advantage. Proverbs 25 verse 28. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Many business owners think strategy is their biggest problem. Often it's actually self-controlled. Without self-control, you overspend, you chase shiny objects, you quit too soon, you react emotionally. You make poor decisions under actual pressure. The ability to control yourself is one of the highest forms of leadership. And just to give you an example, I made money in my first businesses, in my first ventures as well. I made money in the second ventures as well. And I have made small money, I have made big money. But the biggest problem for me was that I didn't have self-control. And because I didn't have self-control, most of the money went on actual luxury. I spent most of the money was wasted. And when I needed to actually have the money in the business so I can scale the business, get the business out from financial difficulties, I didn't have the finances there. But I only was there because I was lacking one of the biggest things that actually mattered, was self-control. Another big thing is sometimes we destroy our businesses with temptations. Sometimes you may hire a beautiful woman working for your company, and suddenly you have a temptation to have a sexual relationship with her. That's another temptation that can destroy your business, because then you get a big lawsuit and then suddenly you're out of business. Another one is you are too quick to actually expand. You're too quick to think about, okay, now I need to expand, I need to get more people in. So you don't have self-control to actually break down what's happening in the business before you actually scale. Self-control is really important. So without self-control, you overspend, you chase the shiny objects, you quit too soon, you react emotionally, you make poor decisions under pressure. The ability to control yourself is one of the highest forms of leadership, because if you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead others as well. So the business lesson I want you to learn here is discipline is often the hidden factor behind success. What destroys most businesses isn't the lack of opportunity, it's a lack of restraint. So another one is failure is not actual final. This is the next one. Proverbs 24 verse 16. The righteous falls 7 times and rises again. Every founder needs this verse, because every founder gets hit. Failed launches, lost clients, bad hires, economic downturns, rejected offers, mistakes, setbacks, pain, relationships, family, so many things. Like, I can keep going and going. Failure isn't the exception. It is part of the actual process. The difference between successful founders and unsuccessful founders is rarely the actual failure. It is the response. One group quits, the other gets back up and keeps going. And so, to give you a couple of examples here, listen, when I was building my businesses, I made so much mistakes. I lost a lot of clients. I failed a lot of products. I got my offers rejected. I lost money. Family members I lost because they passed away, and I was feeling kind of sorry for it, because I never spent so much time, because I was more focusing on the business. And another thing is, it's like you lose a lot of relationships as well. And your family, you also in your family, you don't give so much time, so you're losing those relationships and family as well. So much things are happening, right? But the biggest thing is this, like, you don't quit. You need to get back up and you need to keep going, because you don't fail until you quit. You only fail if you quit. So the business lesson is persistence often beats talent. The people who win aren't people who never fall. They are the people who refuse to stay down when they actually fall. The next one, the Proverbs most entrepreneurs ignore. Okay? The Proverb 13 verse 11, wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. This is the opposite of the modern internet culture, right? Everyone wants overnight success, quick money, instant wealth, rapid growth. We want the latest funnel. We want to install the funnel that gets me all the leads and qualifies them, and I just jumped on a call and collect money, and that's about it. We want the golden shiny objects. But God's pattern is usually compounding, slow, steady, consistent, enduring. And I can tell you honestly, I had like spikes of growth, but they never lasted. I got a little bit spikes of growth, and then I was back to square one again. So the business lesson is this: sustainable growth beats explosive growth that cannot be actually maintained. Before you can have any type of growth, you need to make sure that you can maintain that growth. That's why there's a saying, it's not how much money you make in the marketplace, it's how much money you actually keep after you have received the money. So the more I study Proverbs, the more I actually realize it isn't just teaching people how to be religious. It is teaching people how to live wisely, how to lead wisely, how to build wisely, how to manage wisely, how to make decisions wisely, and how to create value wisely. And ultimately, business is stewardship. The question isn't whether God cares about business. The question is whether we are willing to apply His wisdom to actual businesses. He's entrusted us with Proverbs. Those Proverbs are like a manual for us, not to only have to be a good person, but to also, if we are building a business, if we are trying to get in relationships, it shows us like an actual manual, like an actual blueprint of what and how and when to do. Because when you do what you need to do, what Proverbs are telling you, you begin building something that actually lasts, not just financially, but spiritually, relationally, and generationally as well. So it's really important to understand this.
Before you leave, I want to give you something really special. It took me years of failures, mistakes, lessons, client work, and real-world experience to understand what actually builds a successful business. And no, not the theory type, not the social media advice, not some vague advice I got from a book, but real actual fundamentals. The things that create predictable growth, strong leadership, scalable systems, and long-term success. So I condensed everything into a single scaling actual roadmap. It shows you exactly what to focus on at every stage of growth, so you stop guessing and start building with actual clarity inside of your business. If you want it, click the Instagram link, it's down below in the description, and DM me the word roadmap, and I will send it to you over personally. And remember this, business don't grow because founders work really hard at it, or because you have to put in more hours. They grow because founders focus on the right things at the right time, at the right stage. See you in my next video.